Guys, welcome to our grand final of the Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament number 11. Well, let's do this. It is to the bottom, top. We're starting on the top. Who knew? To the top left-hand side, it is our Red Zerg player. He has had a good run through. He finished first in his group, then ended up in the quarterfinals where he took down Soul today before he took down, just moments ago, TLO. Now, this in the grand finals is Elazer. He's going up against the blue Terran player from Team Liquid. To the bottom left-hand side, it is uThermal. Yes, best of 9, first of 5. Our first Overlord is already to avoid the missile turrets. Well, obviously, uThermal is going to have to be fairly cautious of these throughout the game as well. A couple of watchtowers in the center of the map, as well as the Moopies. This is apparently why the map is called Ritual Moopie Temple, because of these dudes. Hi, guys. I mean, these dudes are seen sometimes on maps. There's probably more of them if we look around. Like, there's a few over here. It's funny because we haven't really had the chance to properly look at these at this map a lot, because a lot of the time it has just been vetoed a lot. We haven't really seen it in play a lot of the time. It's still only the 5th time we're seeing it all tournament long. What else are there? Some rupees. Let's go hunting. These guys over here are they on bikes? I don't even know what they are, but they're set down on something. Anyways, this is Ritual Moopie Temple in terms of aesthetics, and in terms of the map layout, well, it's all about these missile turrets. This Elazer is just going to be far enough away from these missile turrets to not get hit, and he's going to try and hide behind the back of the base here. And just that he goes around like this, rather than, I guess because it gets him to see the front still, so you will see the barracks here. Because if he just goes straight down here, he will get here faster, but then he doesn't actually see the barracks, which is obviously pretty important information. Factory currently on the way up from uThermal. Now, in terms of what we've been seeing from uThermal so far in this tournament, we've been seeing a lot of Mech play out of him. And in fact, I'm pretty sure he's played Mech every single game of TVZ that we've seen. And he's played a lot of TVZ. He played against Lambo and Namshaw in the groups. He played Stefano and True in the brackets. The winner of this tournament gets $1,000. Second place gets $500. Third and fourth place finishers walked home with $250 apiece. Round of 8, $150. Round of 12, $100. Top 16 was $50, and top 20 was $25. $3,300 in total, plus $700 up for grabs based on the best plays making use of the map features. This Reaper just been patrolling here. uThermal is obviously his first person view is in the bottom right of your screen if you want to check that out and see just what he's looking at when he's looking at things. Queen will just get blasted away for a moment or two. We are going to be seeing this Reaper just out of the front. Now, Elazer expands towards his opponent here, so maybe an aggressive style or strategy going to be getting set up. Liberator on the way down. Fast Liberator from uThermal. Obviously has to be very careful with where this rally. He's already has his starport rallied, actually. Do you see this Reaper coming back in towards the middle, and we'll just be holding the watchtower on the left-hand side for the moment. Marine just going to work his way through this Overlord. Hellions were fighting against something over here, and now will continue forwards. I guess they were stuck and probably hitting the missile turret once or twice. The missile turrets, again, are engageable, and when you're on vision of them, you actually kind of auto-attack them if you're on attack move. Hellions will back away, though, unable to break through into the natural and get any sort of economic damage dealt here. So Hellions back in toward the center. Another Overlord going down, and well, not another, but actually the Overlord going down over here. The Marine getting the kill. Again, he was indeed roasting away on this missile turret, and again, uThermal just needs to keep this pulled up toward the top side. Zergling running off to the right, and well, no armor or anything. There's no Hellbat follow-up to this, but he's doing his build, which generally leads him into his mech play. Siege tanks on the way, a couple of Marines to help him defend. Elazer goes into a roach drone already, and obviously that can just be used defensively, but does on this map with very small rush distances maybe open up some aggressive options too. Those Lings are not in a good spot at all. They are stacking themselves together for those Hellions, and these Hellions are having a pretty great time. They got a lot of Lings already, and now 7 drones, and they're still on the hunt as uThermal finds himself 7 workers, a ton of Zerglings, and this has to be seen as a good value trade from our Terran player. He will lose everything on the way out, maybe bar the Reaper. But again, it's a lot of Lings which he's been able to kill. 17 Lings down, 9 drones, 10 drones because the Liberator is now in the main base and pulling away. Wow, fantastic stuff. Liberator sieges up here. There's only one Spore Crawler to deal with 2 Liberators. Well, actually, this Liberator is going to unsiege him back away because this Liberator has gone towards the natural expansion, but he's going to get another couple of kills. And right now, Elazer is unable to keep up with this Terran harassment. That's 15 drones that have gone down now. This Liberator is going to stick around. Looks as though he'll just commit for the extra drone kills he'll get out of sitting here. He gets a couple of drones morphing from lava as well. Wow. Absolutely crazy. And as uThermal kills 18 workers to start off game 1 of this best of 9. Some Queens throwing down creep tumors here on the left-hand side. And these missile turrets have not claimed any victims just yet. uThermal playing the mech style, expanding towards his opponent. I'm actually terrified for Elazer. I'm pretty sure you could set a tank up here and it would reach across to Elazer's corner of the base. I mean, as soon as uThermal's going to want to push, he is not going to have to wait very long at all. Now, that said, it works 2 ways around. If Elazer had made a bunch of roaches, there's a big chance he could have maybe pushed uThermal before he really got the chances. The Reaper going to hop up in toward the main base. A few drones coming up to the high ground here. Queen will inject. I'm just going to be seeing that lag going to be coming along with the lava. +1 missile attack upgrade, +1 carapace coming through. 11 roaches on the way out. And 2 more factories on the way up as well. Missile turrets start to hit and overloads. These Queens are going to start cleaning out the missile turrets though. And I'm not sure if that's intentional, but I honestly don't think it's a bad idea. And Elazer will start to kill these so he can set his overlords up in better positions. If uThermal actually had some high ground vision over here, he would be able to clean these up with tanks as well. In general, if you cleaned up your side of the map with turrets, it gives you a bit more freedom as to where you can fly around. Queens and roaches able to get rid of. Again, most of these turrets here, they just don't quite reach this one turret right there. Because that one turret is not quite reached, and guys, we're actually going to be starting to see a macro game here on Ritual and Mupi Temple. Something we've not really seen much of as Swarm Hosts start to come on through. Well, more roaches from Elazer coming back up towards the upper side. A couple of Hellbats will come forwards, and 1 drone picked off already. This barracks going on a floating mission up here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Elazer is the first to fall victim to some missile turrets. Hellions dive by, and again, 2 drones killed, and all those drones are starting to stack, but the Hellions attack the Queens now. We're going to be seeing a few more workers killed, and that's 9 workers, 10 on the end. But the Swarm Hosts are very close to uThermal's base. This entire map is creating an interesting dynamic. Multiple missile turrets are going to set up here because uThermal's not actually ready to really deal with the initial wave of Swarm Hosts, I don't think. And you saw uThermal had a pretty unique style the other day. A lot of Hellions to deal with the Swarm Hosts. Locusts are pretty regular. But he also adds in a lot of Liberators, and that splash damage actually does surprisingly well. Roaches out toward the center. We're going to be seeing more of these missile turrets being picked away at as also. As uThermal's Liberator moves away. I think uThermal should get rid of these turrets, by the way. Like, just because it's only going to become an issue for him if he doesn't get rid of them sooner rather than later. He's going to start flying Liberators in accidentally and so on. And you know, the sooner he gets rid of these, there's just the safer he's going to feel. Now remember, if Swarmers are on cooldown, the counterattack position, or the counterattack length of time to counterattack for uThermal is pretty small on this map. So that's something you got to be very careful of here. As these Locusts, I really don't feel are doing a lot. A couple of tanks are going to start coming up to the high ground to deal with the Ravagers that are maybe thinking about pushing up here in the next few moments. There you go, a couple of tanks already sieged. The rest of the tanks starting to siege up too. They're very stacked up though. Crucibals toward the mineral line more so than being towards the siege tanks. So those Ravagers are going to keep on falling. I don't actually see a way out of this for this group of units. These Roaches are just going to take damage as they leave. One Hellion is going to force the Locust to drop down here already in uThermal. We'll hold on after some good trades at the moment. Resources lost dead even, which against Swarm Hosts generally means things are going pretty well. Roaches and Ravagers going to work their way through those rocks, and we do see the Hive is about to finish up in the next few moments. More units out toward the center of the map, and we still just have these couple of Ravagers here from the Elazer morphing in. A couple of tanks firing, and we are just going to be seeing a few of those Roaches getting taken down. So our turret's getting picked off as again Locusts approaching the front. A few Marines going to be hopped onto here. Hallion's going to counter-attack across the map. I'm glad the turrets are going, because now I'm less afraid about uThermal losing his Liberators to them. But that said, he actually has his own turrets now set up. So for Elazer, he still has turrets to deal with here. Just now they actually belong to one of the players of the game. There's one tank to the bottom side. Man, there's actually another tank all the way down here too. A couple of tanks just on siege starting to fight into those roaches. This is very expensive trades for Elazer. He's losing a lot here. And especially as the Hellions give chase. Pick off another Roach, get another Ravager low. Resources lost is still dead even. And I am still terrified for Elazer because I just truly feel as uThermal comes around this left-hand side, Elazer's just not going to have any time to react, to set up, to counter-attack or anything. You're going to be seeing, I mean, a missile turret goes down here to this wave of Locusts. The Swarm Host, two of them nearly going down. We do see the push through these rocks on the left as well, so those will get knocked down also. Again, these Locusts, Small Liberators doing a little bit more damage. Hellions will be able to clean up more of these as, oh my god, well, the Roaches and Ravagers are going to try and brute force their way up here, but these tanks are way too powerful. Hellions will come in again. Has to keep the Hellions alive, though, because he needs those blue flames to clean up the Locust wave whenever it comes through here. And those Roaches and Ravagers still dropping, and now uThermal will be sieged just moments away from his opponent's third. That said, Elazer might have taken this map knowing that when uThermal maxes out, he'll lose it easily. And so with the idea of being able to pull away elsewhere later, but apparently no, he just GG'd. Let's see if he keeps going for it. I'd be surprised if he changed it, because at this stage he has just played so much of it, it kind of feels like, why would you change it? Guys, we start off to the bottom right-hand side of the map with the red Terran player. This from Team Liquid is uThermal. And he is going up against the blue Zerg to the upper left-hand side of the map. From Clash, this is Elazer. Why is uThermal sporting the E-Wolves clan tag? Because he's part of the E-Wolves meme. Don't ask me, it's a meme. He is part of Team Liquid. Team Liquid don't make them have an in-game tag. E-Wolves is a bit of a joke. Snoot's in it as well, a bunch of other players are. They spam the words of woo on Twitter. I'm sure someone from E-Wolves right now is probably going to say a woo in the chat as well. And all the rest. Guys, do remember, you can vote hashtag uThermal or hashtag Elazer. Depending on who you want to see winning this series. You just need to fix this box quickly again. Don't know why it keeps moving. There you go. So get your votes in. Hashtag uThermal or again hashtag Elazer to let us know who you're cheering on. So far, Elazer's got 72% of the vote, which is pretty crazy. That's actually kind of surprising to me that he has so much of the vote, but I'm sure that'll change a little bit now we've mentioned it once again. Let's see if Elazer can indeed fight back. As we do see the hatch gas pool. We'll set him up in toward the link speed here. Again, last game, uThermal from the start just started to do just a little bit too much damage. Just started to deal so much damage with the first Hellions and Liberators. He was already in a lead, and from there, Elazer was unable to break him. He was unable to find a way to come back. Couldn't you just add no flight zones instead of turrets to make dropping harder? So this is my issue, right? I think the idea is that you should be able to, like, I feel like the neutral turrets should be used in a way where they block air dominance or air control or air mobility earlier in the game, and later in the game they can be cleaned out so that you can actually go and, you know, fly across. Right now there's just too many missile turrets put in positions that are just too difficult to reach to be able to clean them out. So it just blocks the, you know, it just does the exact same job of an air blocker, only it's a huge punishment if you accidentally send a unit in that direction. And that's just because there's so many of them right now. I don't know. I've had a discussion multiple times about the neutral missile turrets. my final thoughts on it really just is that I'd rather see them either do less damage or have less of them being used. Because I feel just right now like they're just used as like a kill zone or dead, like you just can't go in this direction. And we've just seen so many players accidentally lose units to them. It just feels so punishing for no real reason. You know? Like, oh, you know, so much is going on in the game. Should Elazer really be punished by a neutral missile turret because his overlord, one of his overlords randomly rallies into it? Boom, supply block. That can be game ending. You know? It's, yeah, I don't know. It feels very punishing without really gaining anything that we haven't seen before with other bits and pieces. The votes are coming in. The hashtags are happening. Hashtag Elazer from NotRedSec and Jerry O and Victory Now. But hashtag uThermal from Lone Wolf, Super Elite, K2 Hype, RC Helicopter, Sir Don't. Oh my god, loads of hashtag uThermals in the chat. Let's reduce setup into this one. Hashtag can't write uThermal correctly. Rifkin still spamming the Pokemon emotes in the stream. That's what we love to see, guys. That's what we love to see. A few Hellions. We'll just move forwards for uThermal and head in towards the upper left side here, so... Getting this ready to go. A few Hellions will start to do a little bit of damage. Spam this circle for uThermal. Can we do better than circle and uThermal? Like, I don't know. There has to be something. Hellions pushing forward is going to go up this ramp, and again, Elazer is going to have to try and defend with the Lings. The first Hellion shot gets a good amount of damage. One Hellion down for a group of Zerglings, and uThermal is backing away. He's not going to stay committing in this position. May grab a couple of drones here, gets one. The Liberator now sieging up over here. We'll have to unsiege him back away as these Hellions continuing to deal with this right now. Going to watch the Liberator on the picture-in-picture as it comes into a different spot. Actually, they're going to end up in the same position here anyways. The Hellions hit the third base and 14 drones going down. How does uThermal consistently find so much damage with these Hellions game after game after game? 16 drones. Hellions go down, but so many Zerglings fell as well. 20 Lings. Wow. Again, uThermal just puts himself into such a great position from this point onwards with this. Double armory now dropping as he gets set up for the mech play once again. He's been using the same build all week long. And honestly, I'm going to ask it once more. Why change what isn't broken? It's working amazingly well for him. He's 6-0 with it in the playoffs so far. 7-0 now. He took a map off a Elazer already. Crazy. Make the neutral missile turrets die over time, so they start the game burning. I like the idea of them being cleaned out at a stage of the game by the player's choice, right? Because otherwise the map's just like, you know, after 5 minutes, the air pathway becomes open. But if the, if the players can just, if the players can just kill them and they're in positions where they're killable, or maybe if you have like 10 medevacs, you can boost through them, and maybe you sacrifice a medevac to boost through and abuse the positioning. Like, if there's less damage output from them, it's a lot more, you can play around it. But right now, when they're in packs of 4, you can't boost any medevacs through them because you're going to lose any amount of medevacs. That's the crazy thing about the turrets. Liberator will siege up to the right-hand side and will force the drones to pull away. Queen quick to respond. Good response from the Elazer, shutting down the aggression here, stopping this from being an issue, as we will see a 4th hatchery setting up on the top. Isn't this map like Abyssal Reef without water? I don't know. 1, 2, 3 bases, I guess, are similar. The natural ramp's very different already. Well, is it? Because you have the rocks, I guess. Maybe it is. Very similar. More similar than I thought. You have a 3rd base over here. I mean, maybe for the first few bases, but it does change a lot as you move on from there. 4 more Swarm Hosts on the way up as Elazer goes into Swarm Host play immediately once again. A rat from all to cheer for uThermal. But it's uThermal, not uThermal. Or, we're going to be all posh, are we, Rifkin? A rat-a-tat for all to cheer for uThermal. I don't think that one, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that one. But whose name rhymes with rat? Because that would be great. We need a player name that rhymes with rat, so we can spam rats and cheer for someone. There has to be someone whose name rhymes with rat, right? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, though. If you guys come up with something, let me know. Anyways, we do see first few roaches poking forwards here. The Liberators can siege up if they want. Single Corrosive Bile hits a tank as the swarm hosts to the right-hand side, which are going to go in towards this natural expansion here in the next few moments. So this is going to get set up and ready to go. Locust dropping down. uThermal not with much of an answer to this just yet. Blue Flame is getting ready to finish though, so actually for this wave of Locust, it's annoying. It will get easier now though as he gets his Blue Flame up, and the Hellions will be able to deal with those more efficiently. Another wave of Locust already dropping from so far away. That's kind of weird to line up like that. I guess he just wants them all to go off at the same time, which does make sense. He wants to line up as much as possible. Again, with Blue Flame though, those Locusts disappear pretty quickly. And we do see the Roaches and the Ravagers trying to just break on through at the same time, poking around while uThermal does deal with those Locusts. And again, we're just going to be seeing the burrow right now. On the way up, couple of tank shots. Killing a Roach almost immediately here, and this Ravager will go down too. It looks as though he wants to commit in to try and get some kills here. And these few tanks, they'll go down, but they're finding value at least with their shots, and there's another kind of tank or two behind it, so there's still going to be extra kills coming down. 5 workers going down as again Locusts jump into the natural expansion. These swarm hosts have been an absolute nuisance at the moment. Liberator is going to try and camp above them, not to siege up and to hit the swarm hosts, instead to hit the Locusts as they come out here and to just, well, get some damage done, brings them low in health. Look at this, a bunch of them are going to die already. And just, what, not even half the Locusts land here? 2 Locusts land actually. That one gets killed on its way down. Well, that's pretty crazy. We're going to be seeing the Ravagers over here. There's another wave of Locusts available. These Ravagers on the low ground are going to be in some trouble from the get-go. This time the Locusts are going to be able to get a little bit further forwards. They're going to drop onto the tanks, but the friendly fire isn't there because the tanks are actually targeting the Roaches anyways. The Hellbats clean up, and uThermal holds on to the 4th base on the south side without much issue. We'll continue to take a 5th command center now as well. A few more Ravagers in the middle of the map. Spam these rats to cheer for stats. There we go. We figured it out. Good job, Riff. Locust coming up again. This time we're actually going to be seeing the Liberators sieging. Oh my god, the Swarmos to the top again, annihilated by those Hellbats. Oh boy, we do see those Roaches pushed away here. Liberators might want to try and siege up again. Tanks and Hellions pressing forwards. Liberators siege up in a way that will really help to just get rid of those Roaches. Kills a couple on the way out, and oh man, the Swarm hosts are trapped in a corner. Where are you going to run to now, buddies? Locust going down without issue, and we will see more Liberators heading up to the upper right-hand side of this. Swarm host will burrow to try and keep itself alive, but oh my god, the splash damage killed it anyways. The Lasers rebuilding purely into Roaches, and I think pure Roaches right now is a very brave choice. Well, we do have 2 armies, so guys, it's time for some picture-in-picture action as Roaches run on down to the bottom right-hand side of your screen on the bottom right-hand side of the map. uThermal is still pushing towards the upper side of things here. Corrosive Bars don't come down from those Ravagers just yet. uThermal continue to move along. Those Roaches burrow. A lot of them already cleaned out, actually, and they are just going to be staying hidden. There's more units coming back up from the south side. And here it goes. So many tanks sieged up, though, and Hellbats just trying to find the right place to be to really protect here. Nice burrow play, jumping up on top of the Roaches allows him, or on top of the tanks, allows him to actually force some friendly fire and another tank to die. Liberator sieged up here for a moment or two. 16 workers going down because we also have just Liberators everywhere at the moment. Killing units that are spawning, killing drones. 22 workers falling. Suddenly a laser supply is down the gutter. 130 to 270 supply. uThermal is having one hell of a game so far. As you see, Corrosive Battles dropping. Liberator jumps off to the other side now instead. And this just continues. This is crazy. uThermal has just been playing so well with this mech style. He seems to have an answer for everything. He never seems to be caught off guard. He's never losing too much to the Locusts or anything. Crazy, crazy stuff. One Liberator heading down to the bottom left-hand side. A few Ravagers coming up as well now from Elazer. They're about to finish up here. Corrosive bars will land on this barracks. Plus 3 vehicle weapons and vehicle plating also coming through here still. More Liberators coming out. I just think the Liberators to deal with the Locusts in the sky are just incredible. Like, because it genuinely is so effective. Man, these Roaches will get one tank, but is it even worth it for just how many Roaches were lost? Hellions are dealing with more drones to the top, and uThermal takes the 2-0 the bottom left-hand side. Our red Zerg player now down 0-2, and I'm starting to get a little worried, just a little bit, because we are on a bit of a Terran-favored map, I feel, with how this one plays out. Bottom left-hand side, the red Zerg is from Clash Elazer. Top right, the blue Terran from Team Liquid is uThermal, as we're here on Extraction for game number 3. Safe attack, but the wardy dog on the front of the rat-a-tat. Why not? Why not? Thanks for joining us today, guys, as we head into game number 3 here on Extraction. Again, we talked about this map earlier today, but if you just tuned in, it has these rocks on the side of the natural which lead out to another base. But in general, tank play here is obviously very frustrating for Zerg to deal with, so that's something which could be very powerful. And with the way uThermal's playing, I imagine a Liberator will be sieged up here at some point of the game as well. I highly doubt we're going to be seeing... the lack of a Liberator. Alright. Hey, sorry, Riff, I actually didn't realize you messaged me on Skype. Let me just burst it rough. Alright, so we are just going to see this Reaper nibbling away at the Lings. Sorry, again, just had to reply to Rifkin there for a moment or two. So Reaper nibbling away at the Lings, a couple of drones. Just going to be... getting back to mining, and we do see this Overlord just set up overhead. Sees the Reaper backing away. Starport is going to be thrown down in the main base. The factory going to be jumping onto the reactor. Again, uThermal with a 2-0 lead in this best of 9 series. First to 5 points in the best of 9, so he still has to win 3 more. He's not even halfway there just yet. But if he wins this one, he'll be over halfway. Maths, the wonders of how it works. As you do see the Reaper just popping in towards the main base. Queen is going to be able to get bopped around a little bit. And we do see the Starport just going to be finishing up from uThermal. And the medevac on the way out. Link speed coming down over here, then about 75% of the way done. A couple of SCVs coming over. Barracks from the tech lab will lift and move to the side, and it is a little bit different already. This medevac play is something that we didn't see before, though it's the one variation that uThermal has been using throughout the other games of the tournament. But generally it is still the kind of 8 Hellions or so, and then he still puts the factory onto the tech lab, maybe the barracks back to the reactor, and makes those tanks from a very early stage, which again isn't what we usually get to see. So interesting stuff, as we will be seeing the medevac with Hellions inside, heading down to the bottom. Going to get ready to go. Liberator's going to be on its way over too, as the Marine is going to be able to grab the Overlord. And Sporecrawler going to come in behind the natural expansion too. Morling is just continuing to pop on out, going to be jumping on these rocks and working their way through this. There's medevac again with a few Hellions inside, going to be jumping towards the main base here momentarily. Queen and Lings already set up to kind of surround this instantly. And oh, uThermal taking a little while to lift back up there. One of the Hellions very nearly going down to that surround. So there's the tank on the way up. There's the 3rd CC. Now, Elazer hasn't really made much progress over here. I'm not sure if uThermal's really going to try and do much with tanks over here, though, so not sure if that's really too much of an issue. And can you imagine this map with tank attacks? We did have some maps like that, though, where like tank attacks were so strong in certain positions. How was TVZ just not broken with tank attacks? Like, the more I think about it, like, how was TVZ not broken? 4 drones going down, 7 workers killed here so far, 9 workers killed, a couple more shots of Hellion fire will take down some extra Lings. This is 12 workers killed. The Hellions elsewhere on the map in this medevac are loaded up once again, although now Lings out of position momentarily, but then back in time to get another kill. Two more armories on the way up here from uThermal, so I guess getting ready to go as you see the 4th hatch coming up the left-hand side of the map, so continue to spread out here at the moment. Liberator is going to be moving over here, of course. uThermal's been taking this time to set up his 3rd base, and we've been saying it before, we've been expecting Mech, and Mech's going to be what we see again from uThermal. And, well, we'll see if Elazer can actually change things up enough to make a difference now, because so far, 2 games in a row, it's not just that uThermal has played well, but it's not just been that uThermal's beaten Elazer, it's been that he's made Elazer look as though he's not really had much of a chance at all. Now, difference already in this game, I will say it, is that uThermal hasn't really done as much economic damage. So, you know, there hasn't been the 20 workers go down. That said, there were still 12. As we do see those Lings backing away down in the south. Spam these kernels to help uThermal. That's a decent spam. I like that one, Mibnelius. Thank you. That's a good one. Spam the kernel to help uThermal, guys. Go, go, go. 11 roaches on the way up. Continue to come in toward the front. And again, just going to be seeing a couple of factories finishing in the very near future, so as 1-1 upgrades come on through, I mean, we kind of know how this goes. It kind of feels a bit pointless looking at uThermal's main base in general, because we kind of just know what's happening. Now, the difference from Elazer is this game, he's not going into the swarm hosts. He's going into a lot of roaches, and I'm a little bit scared that Elazer's going to try go for a +1/+1 roach timing. But that said, as the Hellions come by and run in towards a few drone kills here, nice chance here to keep one of them alive. But I mean, uThermal's going to have so many tanks, he's going to have one of his own. I just think the tanks are going to be able to be held off, or going to be able to hold their own here as Elazer sets up for this. He'll obviously have Ravages as well. It's a huge amount of army supply, but if uThermal set up correctly defensively, I don't see how Elazer breaks this. He knocks down these rocks in the center, opening up a faster attack path towards the uThermal 3rd base. A couple of Liberators here spreading out as well. There's just so many targets to hit with the Corrosive Biles that I just don't think there's enough Corrosive Biles to get rid of everything quickly enough. One extra tank here, not ready just yet. Hellbat's morphing in, getting ready to help push this back first. Liberator goes down, but the Roach fire is already pretty darn good. Takes out a depot to the right side here, as we are going to be seeing. That tank actually getting a shot off onto a Ravage as well. Engineering Bay falls, obviously that's not much of an issue, just stops turrets from being built. Now you see Burrow and Tunneling Claws coming up again. Elazer is trying a different style against this here, as we will see some Corrosive Biles to get rid of a siege tank at the front. Some more Corrosive Biles, and we see the supply depot getting a little bit lower once again. Burrow and Tunneling Claws coming through. Infestation Pit will finish up shortly. Again, a couple more Ravagers setting up. A couple of Hellions continue to move down over to the left-hand side, and we are going to be seeing the Ling and Roaches continuing to come over. They are going to be able to pick up those couple of Hellions, Roaches and Ravagers. Trying to break through these rocks, which they will do, but they don't have high ground vision yet, so the Corrosive Bile was a bit slow to come down. One of the 2 tanks comes out, but again, it costs Elazer so many units. Hellion run by, going to hit the natural expansion, nothing in position right away. And I mean, this is going to be at least, well, it's going to be a good few drones killed, but actually only 3. I really thought it would be a little bit more. Resources lost, favoring uThermal with this kind of style of Elazer that's just consistently trying to attack on through. uThermal will try and move towards the 4th base, and that might become a bit more difficult for him here than just holding the 3 bases, of course, because actually the 4th base on this map is quite far away. This base would be a bit closer, but even then you can kind of ping-pong between them very easily as a Elazer to attack on in. Maybe uThermal needs to take a 4th base behind a big push. Locust pop-up going to be dropping down in toward the main. You do see these tanks are firing away right now. We're just going to be seeing these Hellbats cleaning up. So Hellbats cleaning up at the moment. We're just going to be seeing the Liberators moving back out onto the map. And Swarmhost set off over to the left-hand side, and just going to be seeing more Roaches and Ravagers back down to the south. Three more Ravagers morphing in here as uThermal continues to set on up. Just going to be seeing these Liberators going to be coming in and actually getting rid of this Overlord. I'm just going to be seeing... Oh, Corrosive Bowels! Missing those Liberators right away. Going to get another Overlord, and here they go. Now they fight against these Swarmhost Locusts. And this is the issue. We've just seen the Locusts have been ineffective already these matches. As you do see, he's just going to back away. I just don't know what Elazer does to change things up. I just don't know what Elazer does to realistically start winning. Can he buy enough time to get into Hive and Aspire, moving towards Broodlords here? I'm not sure if that is a reality or possibility at all. I actually really don't think it is. This Ravager's heading up to the top side of the map. More tanks just set up on the 3rd base here. Again, uThermal's without a 4th base, and that is his issue, right? Elazer has a bank to work with, and as you see, there's again Hellbats just cleaning up easily. Locusts don't cause too many issues just yet. I feel like maybe uThermal is a bit more pinned in than he has been before. He's not been able to get a 4th base up here. Beforehand, he's usually had a 4th base getting set up and so on. So it's a little bit intriguing as we see those tanks firing some Ravagers down. Elazer has a bank. He has 5, 6 bases set up actually. Aliens over here fighting Queens rather than running by to the actual mineral line. And there's that Great Aspire. uThermal has to go. He can't sit back much longer. He has to move forwards. The Corrosive Bowels hit a few tanks already. That's painful. At the same time, the Hellions coming forwards are just going to rip apart a bunch of these Ravagers. Okay, uThermal is going to be bringing himself towards a 4th base. Is he going to take this forward? 4th? Okay, he is going to go over there, but he's going to have to get rid of this Overlord. Maybe he does come over here. I don't know. This command center is just following the army at the moment. Some Locusts about to expire either way, as we do see Hydra's brought into place. Stops the Liberators from just following the Swarmhost overhead without doing much else. Some Corrosive Bowels getting some kills. Liberators jumping on towards this again, and we are just going to be seeing the Locusts still unable to really do much, but a little bit of damage here and there. I mean, friendly fire is still adding up as well, and it is slowing uThermal from just thoroughly pushing across the map. 12 more Hydras being added in. I mean, this space is not too much of an issue. Is this a BMCC, says Rudo? I think it's his mascot. I don't know. I actually really don't know. I mean, he obviously sees it. He's microing this army consistently. There's no way he doesn't see the command center. I just don't think he knows where to... I mean, he could at least put it down over here, right? Bubbles? Says a mill. Oh, the plan was the command center is going to get taken down. Tanks are siege to get a couple of shots off. He's actually going to find some Swarmhost kills. Oh no, these Swarmhosts on their own. They're actually segregated from everything else. Liberators are going to try and cut up their escape path. More Swarmhosts going down here as we see the Liberators keep on sieging. Run, Swarmhosts, run! More of them just disappearing. Oh man, that's a big hit to the Swarmhost. It eats away massively at the bank of Elazer. uThermal has another command center building right now. As we are going to be seeing the Hydras get jumped on by Hellions. Oh man, that's painful because right now Swarmhosts are in production. Hydras are in production. And this is not looking good. uThermal's pushing forward. He's got so many Liberators here as the tanks siege up. Those Roaches are just going to disappear instantly. A couple of Locusts will pop off over here. I'm not sure where the rest of the Locusts are to come on into this fray. Roaches still being pushed away right now. Elazer just types out GG because uThermal pushes into position. And even when again and again, yes, eventually he got Swarm Hosts. But before then, he was making an attempt to be different. He tried to hit with a 1-1 Roach time. He tried to kill uThermal. And uThermal just survives. And survives and survives. I don't know what you do to stop him, and we'll see in the bottom left-hand side if Elazer will find the answer in the 14-14. He's our blue Zerg player, and he's looking for, well, command center cancel, and to go from there. To the top right, our red Terran player, uThermal. Now, Elazer has done this a lot this tournament, and every time he does it, he has found success. Let's see if that's going to be the same again here. I really want to see uThermal. So we saw uThermal lose with Mech during the group stages, but it just feels like as the group's gone on, he's just, again, has so many answers again and again. Like, it's crazy. It's really crazy. Guys, just to reset up into this, well, actually, let's talk about the build, because it is going to be aggression from Elazer. It'll be a few Zerglings initially, try and slow down the initial CC, and from there, of course, he will eventually throw down a hatchery, but he is going to have link speed, and he's going to make a lot of Zerglings. And already with one worker left in gas, I do wonder what the possible follow-up is, because it's not the sort of Baneling number you leave in if you want to, or the drone number you want to leave in gas if you want to go for a Bane burst, you'd leave more. He pulls out now at 20 gas. So he has some gas, looks though we'll just be saving up for a hatchery at the moment. And the hatchery will drop down to the low ground as the firstlings move across, but again, there should be more Zerglings as a follow-up. So to move off over to the right-hand side. Best of 9, guys, in today's grand final. We don't play all maps in the finals. We did that when we had 7 days to run the tournament last time around, the time before, but this time we only got given 6 days. I mean, I don't think it's really fair to make players play a semi-final matchup, and then you know, and then straight after their semi-final, make them play a 15-map grand final, right? Lings from Elazer will be approaching in towards the natural base. And well, this is where uThermal will probably try and defend with a marine. He's actually making... Oh, he makes a tech lab? Cancels the CC, makes a tech lab? I wonder if he's just worried about roaches already. Tech lab's obviously really not very regular here in terms of what you usually see. We'll finish building pretty quick so it can be repaired. And the fact uThermal didn't open a Reaper is already great, and the fact he just instantly cancels the CC, he just knows that, you know, he just knows how Elazer likes to play. And so by knowing that this is a build he likes to do, as soon as he sees the lings, he's like, cool, I'm going to cancel my CC. I'm not going to wait to see a link speed before I cancel and build it again. No, I'm going to get it building again instantly. So it's a good start from Elazer, but uThermal really minimize the damage that could be dealt by this. And again, going into the tech lab, going into the starport on that tech lab, makes me wonder a little bit as well, what do we see from this here? A Raven or a Banshee are obviously the two main options. I mean, Banshee's a lot more regular. Raven could set him up into some sort of interesting follow-up. A medevac? Okay, well, that's something we can see sometimes too. I mean, if you don't expect a medevac as a laser, then it actually could catch you quite off guard. 4 Hellions being dropped in your main. The Speedlings are heading back home though, as we do see a very fast lair. I think we will maybe see this cloak being committed into, because I think it would be kind of nice to actually see him have Banshees in case he needs to defend at home. Then again, if it's a Nidus, the Banshees will still be in trouble against Queens because there'll be a lair for an Overseer. Liberator is a follow-up, so he's actually not doing anything too crazy at all. And this is even an empty medevac, which starts to move across the map. So uThermal coming down toward the left-hand side. We do see there's one Zergling with a laser just coming along the right. A couple Queens heading up in toward the main base as well. This medevac will boost along through the south side. We'll just be checking out behind the back of this main base. Hellions find themselves into the natural though, and well, it's already a low drone count from Elazer. It's just losing a few drones here. 8 is already pretty deadly to his worker count in the game, and I mean, that's 10. uThermal, every single game, just seems to find an opening. 10 drones on the way back up. Medevac flies into the main. It's empty. Surprise, surprise. Didn't expect that. It will actually go down, which is a shame. Liberator, I mean, he sees no third base. The Liberator comes across as well. He's not going to siege up. I mean, I guess he doesn't really expect to have to. And you can siege up this base and kill the drones that comes over, but that'd be a pretty good prediction of where the thirds are going to be, etc. You're going to see one Queen will be transfused here, so it couldn't be kept alive if the Liberator kept on fighting. 2 drones and an alive Liberator is definitely nothing to complain about as uThermal, as he does continue to, surprise, surprise, build tanks and gets ready to play into Mech. And coming through now, here on New Repugnancy by Sangloon. It's a map which I do feel has tickled me a little bit with its layout. Interested to see just how this goes. We got some weird noises on this map. I haven't heard those before. Well, 2 armories on the way up at the moment, as we are going to be seeing the Elazer Rotron coming down again. This opening from Elazer, I feel, obviously was doing okay. It did what it was sort of meant to do in cancelling the CC, but uThermal responded so well with the damage dealt. The third hatchery was slowed down, and that's something which Elazer will have to live with here. As he goes into double Evo chambers, I mean, uThermal's upgrades are going to be able to start sooner than Elazer's, because uThermal has the faster armories. It's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy. I just don't know what you do against that composition that uThermal's been playing. Do you get Vipers to deal with the Liberators? Well, we saw that the other day. When you get Vipers, uThermal makes Cyclones, and when he makes Cyclones, he gets rapid fire launchers. Those Vipers melt. So I actually really don't know. Ooh. Liberator goes down actually before it gets the Queen kill. Another Liberator in the main base, though, is finding a few more drones. 4 workers killed so far. We'll move off over to the right-hand side. Spore Crawler reburrows elsewhere now. Might actually commit for the Queen. Queen pulls away nice and quickly. Liberator and Sieges. This dancing with Liberators and Queens and so on is always pretty interesting for me to watch. I feel it's crazy that they pay so much attention to this unit again and again and consistently unsiege, resiege, unsiege, go again. It's crazy. I remember watching Cyril play against Special, and they were practicing. It was at WSG European Finals, and Cyril was practicing for his match, and he was practicing with Special, and because I think he was going to play uThermal even. And I just remember watching it. I was just like, wow, like watching the APM Berserk needs to obviously like reposition the Spore every time and preemptively think about where that Liberator is going next. And then just watching, you know, the fact that Special was all over the place with Liberator too, and, you know, Cyril was just all over defending. It was a really impressive game to kind of sit behind and watch. You see the wall off coming up over here is obviously uThermal's going to set up a defense toward his third base. I mean, if you lose this one, now what do you do as Elazer? Because now you're at this position where if you lose this one, you've actually tried multiple different ways to kill uThermal early, and it still doesn't work. And your macro strategy against this clearly doesn't work either. And you have to win 5 games in a row. You know, let's just keep that in mind for a moment. You'd have to win 5 games in a row. That's kind of difficult in and of itself. A couple tanks sieging up. Roach is coming along, grabs a Hellion. A few more Ravagers being morphed into play. Well, Elazer doesn't commit to the aggression this time, so he's going to play Roach Hydra Ravager. Without the aggressive push into his opponent to try and slow him down, he's gone straight to Hive, straight to Vipers. So again, it's another attempt from Elazer to try and just play differently here. He's changing something every game. And that's pretty cool to see him just adjusting as the game goes. uThermal going to build a 4th base in location and already send some SCVs to the low ground. He's already sat here confident enough that he can defend it. No fear at all from uThermal. He just sits here, is like, cool, what's up? All good, yo. And he's going to be pretty happy with how things are going for himself at the moment, I'm sure. 2-2 upgrades coming in from him as well. If he hits for 2-2 and his opponent's still on 1-1, that's obviously pretty crazy as well. Well, the pre-ignited starts up, as we do see. Bit of a different start from uThermal as well, as he realizes that this is going to be a Hydralisk-based force. He actually goes in towards Medivacs, and will continue to kind of drop around the map. Probably wants to drop some of these Hellbats on top of the Hydras throughout the game. Scan comes down and does reveal the center of the map. A few Roaches and Ravagers just held off to the side, not being shown just yet. This Hellbat's going to drop on through. No blue flame yet either, as we do see the Spore Crawler, and the Queen will get some shots off. Oh wow, these Hydras could not have spawned at a more perfect time. You could not get more fortunate. I mean, there's nothing in skill or anything in that. That's just a very fortunate timing that 4 Hydras pop as the Medivac flies in, just in time to kill it. Like, the Medivac was right overhead. Obviously, maybe uThermal could have dropped in a different direction or so to avoid something like that happening. But it was fortunate for Elazer still too. Because you don't expect that sort of timing as uThermal. Apparently one of these tanks is on fire. Can we get a fireman over here? Okay, it's not on fire anymore. That's a little bit scary. Small quick abduct in as we see a couple of siege tanks hitting by blinding cloud. And, well, Hellbat's dropping on top of the Hydras, and the Hydras just melt. And well, here's my new issue for Elazer. This Ravager force is just dying. You know, Ravagers on their own aren't very tanky. The Hydras are gone down. There's no roaches in front. uThermal maxed out, starting to push forwards, going to work his way through these rocks and continue across the map. Now, a small drop force heading towards the main base. That's something we haven't seen yet from Elazer, so again, another way of him trying to deal with this. Another way of him trying to deal with this mech-based playstyle. There is nothing in the main from uThermal to defend, although there is nearby siege tanks that have just spawned. So there is something of an answer here. As we'll be seeing those tanks in the distance currently just doing the job, and uThermal currently just leapfrogging tanks forwards as he pushes around the top side of the map into position. Here come those roaches and hiders going to drop off into the main base. Tanks continue to fire away, the Hellions as well getting to work, and man, everything just dies from Elazer. He rebuilds 19 roaches and 15 hydras, but the fact that uThermal will get in position before they're ready to go. Now we're going to be seeing Overlords and Overseers are dying. Elazer is going to be supply blocked. Elazer is dealing damage across the map. He's killed 12 workers so far, so some damage is being done. Blinding Cloud's coming down. This is the opportunity, the moment perhaps, as we see Liberators are just going to chase away those Vipers. So Vipers are out of energy for future attacks now, and well, uThermal has lost a lot of workers on the other side, you know? Something has finally gone his way, or gone his opponent's way, in terms of being able to deal some damage themselves. Liberator is still picking off Overlords here as a laser supply keeps on dropping though. Liberator is going to siege up, and this mineral line is just going to get massacred. Hydras that are on their way out are going to get cancelled. I mean, that's just going to be a bunch of damage done. uThermal down on 47 SCVs, but when he's on 100 army supply to 50, it just doesn't matter if he can't build much more. uThermal takes it to a 4. Laser here. Here's me when we're doing the videos like, oh, well, you know, we're guaranteed to see some of these maps. The others, well, you know, we might not see them. You know, but we'll probably see map 6 and probably map 7 at least, right? Nuh-uh, apparently. Nuh-uh. Guys, to the top left-hand side. Well, first of all, I actually want to say a very big thank you to Von Schleyer for the 28-month resub. Am I here on time? You're a few hours late, Von, but I'll give it to you. You know, you're at least going to catch 2 of the games. At least. So that's something, right? It's more than usual, I feel. You're not tuned in as the end screen shows up, so thank you so much for the 28 months of subscribing. Do appreciate, guys. We're only 12 subs away from 300. If you got a Twitch Prime that you haven't used already, if you just want to support the stream, do consider it. But let's do the intros then. Down 04, our blue Zerg in the top left side of the map. This is Elazer. He is going up against the red Terran to the top right-hand side from Team Liquid. It's uThermal. uThermal going towards the 5-0 victory at the moment. And looking to see just how dominant he is. Can he go through the entire playoffs without dropping a map? He might. At the way he's playing, he really truly might. He is playing so well right now. Really crazy. Guys, hashtags in the chat if you want to support one player or the other. uThermal is probably at our most biased chat viewing of the day. 63% to 37%. Keep those votes coming in. Keep the hashtags of player names coming to show who you're supporting here in today's matches in the WardiTV Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament Grand Final. Again, I'd like to just say one more time as well, as this game is setting up fairly regularly. Huge shout out to Blizzard for sponsoring the tournament phase of this and the Team Liquid Map Contest in general. Obviously, a huge thank you to Team Liquid and to Blizzard for having me back for the 3rd map contest tournament in a row. And if you guys like this, if you thought we did a good job, we think we ran a good tournament, let people know. Tweet about it. Reddit post it. Team Liquid thread it. Say it. You know, if you think we did a good job, if you think we did a bad job, let us know as well. Let me know what you think we could improve on for the tournament. You didn't like the format, you didn't like the way we did videos, you thought there was too much me nagging you guys to tell me about how I did. Let it be known. Again, the more feedback we get, the more we can improve. The more positive feedback we get, the more likelihood we are of getting to come back again next time around. Wing speed coming up here from Elazer. Queen on the way out. On the natural expansions, the third hatchery is just over halfway done. Reaper hops up to the high ground here and is going to continue to move around the map as well. At least we get to see Bubbles one last time. I think Bubbles has been one of the highlights of the tournament for me. You've gotten to really get to know him, you know? Turns out he isn't this big scary creature who eats everything he sees. He's really just a fan of StarCraft 2. Who got the best seat in the house for this map. Bubbles has been great. Bunch of Lings on the way up as obviously Elazer gets ready to deflect and defend the Hellions, which have caused him so much pain and issue over the last few games. Reaper diving in towards the main will get taken down almost instantly here by the Queen Zergling combination. Into the main base, and Overlord is scouting through. Overlord is just going to be pushed away off over to the right-hand side, so sees what's going on and sees, well, the factory is still on the reactor, but there's the switch off. As we've seen time and time again, uThermal doesn't even care that Elazer sees it. It's just like, cool. I mean, what are you going to do? You haven't been able to figure it out so far. What do you change for game number 5? I actually really don't know. More Hellions gathering together. Rotron on the way up here from Elazer in the natural expansion. Is he going to start to try and climb one hell of a mountain in this series? Well, this Queen has to pull away and does so at the last moment. And the Break going to stick around and is going to get a cancel on an Overlord that's morphing. It's a drone that pops out too. We'll get another. Honestly, in the end, 2 drones lost mining time. It works out, not so bad. Hellions have dove by but not done anything, and for the first game, Elazer is held with only killing off, with only really losing Zerglings. Good start from Elazer, much better than what we've been seeing so far from him. So already a big improvement on that regard. 2 armories on the way up in the natural expansions. We'll see a third command center also from uThermal moving out in towards this kind of pocket expand. Again, these rocks over here are something which will protect uThermal for a good amount of time. I don't really think Elazer can take this space. It's just going to be way too simple for uThermal to push through the top side of the map. By taking the bottom left, you will be able to kind of force uThermal to kind of come a bit more onto creep and into a bit more of a awkward position on the map in general. But then as he expands forwards for the 5th and 6th bases, I do get a bit worried once more. Beta Nest is coming up, about halfway done. As you see, the 1-1 melee upgrade still coming through here. Extra Zerglings on the way out. The 4th hatchery placed in the bottom left-hand side. I very well see Chubb will force the gases to pull away unless the Queen's just going to sit here and tank it out, and they will. Although 2 Queens pushed away, 1 Queen will go down, another Queen could go down if he targets it, and he does. uThermal pays attention to his Liberators. That's pretty crazy, the fact he's paying attention here. Gets himself 3 drones and 2 Queens. Great setup, and again, now vehicle upgrades coming in. It's another attempt from Elazer to do things slightly differently. It's going to be Lingbane Hydra this time around, or Lingbane Ravager. But again, it's a difference. It's going to be another attempt to do something which will hopefully this time break the mech play, because so far uThermal has just been unbeatable with this, and I don't know what Elazer is necessarily going to do to deal with it. Like, it's crazy because uThermal's literally used the same build with the very slightest of variations every single TVZ in this tournament. Hellions pulling up to behind the watchtower, morph Hellions into Hellbats. It's funny because usually it's the Zerg we see trying the same thing again and again, whereas it's the Terran who kind of changes things up, changes builds. But this game, this series, it's been all about the Terran who's just been doing the same thing, and Elazer's been trying every single thing he can to try and figure it out. Hydrogen's going to finish, and there's going to be a ton of Hydralisks on the way in the very near future. Lings will just work their way through these rocks at the moment here and making some progress. Another command center coming down from uThermal as well. Zerglings still just nibbling their way through the rocks right now, so just clearing this up as again the Hydras are on their way through uThermal. Blue Flame is going to be extremely important against the Lingbane Hydra composition. Infestation Pit as well. So now with the Lingbane Hydra, the Swarm Host Locusts have another way, another job. Because as the Banes bust through the Hellbats, the Locusts can then actually maybe get in and do some damage. So Swarm Hosts are a real possibility here. Alternatively, Hive Tech in going in towards a couple Vipers and of course toward Broodlords is the other real option. And both of those are still viable, even though it is a Lingbane Hydra mid-game. There's not really a preference towards one or the other, I would say. I think they're both pretty decent setups to go into, although the way that uThermal played against Swarm Hosts already, I don't know if I would be rushing towards making more Swarm Hosts myself. Elazer goes instantly into the Hive. Doesn't mean the Swarm Hosts won't be coming. Some Drop Lords start to move across the map, but no Nubitized Carapace means they're going to be very, very slow. They're going to be really just waddling along to the right-hand side. Hydra's working their way through the rocks at the moment. Elazer starts to take the 5th base on the top, and this is why I really feel uThermal has a position where you can push through this very easily. It's looking to run by the bottom left base, but there's already Lingbane and Hydra here. I mean, Elazer's just split up all over the place to be able to deal with this, so he's actually finally looking to be ahead of the harassment rather than just getting hit and killed off by it. And of course, creating his own harassment too is going to be pretty neat, as we do see him with those Dropper Lords now loading up. Swarm Hosts have started to come out here, so if the wave of Swarm Hosts coming in at the same time as the drops come in, some real possibility for aggression. uThermal Italians just coming back home because, hey, they did enough already. There's a couple of missile turrets over here. There's not free entry to the main base. It is going to cost probably at least 1 Overlord to get in here. Maybe 2, but that'll be after everything is dropped out. It's not going to be an attack anywhere else at the same time either. Here we go then. The thing is, this is mostly Hellions and Lings, and Hydras and Lings. I do just wonder if the Hellions alone will be able to deal with this. Okay, so actually an Overlord doesn't go down on the way in, but he will lose multiple Overlords from this point. Liberator's sieging up already, 10 workers going down. But with the Overlords that have obviously been picked away at, there's not going to be a lot that gets out of here. So for 12 workers, we're talking about a whole chunk of Hydras that are going to get killed off. Only a couple of Hellions here. Maybe could have been doing a little bit more. Meanwhile, Swarm Host Locusts have taken down the front wall off, it seems. So that base is going to be exploded a little bit. And actually looks as though everything will go down from this drop. So, well, Elazer loses out in the end. Locusts coming forwards now, as we are going to be seeing the tanks unsieging and minimize any sort of friendly fire splash damage. 2 tanks, though, because the Hellions, Hellbats there in the back, were a little bit kind of choked up, so they weren't able to all fight. It's a small mistake from uThermal, and Elazer's finding better damage than what he's found so far throughout this series. I think that's the most hopeful map we've had so far if you're an Elazer fan, cheering him on. A few Banelings just on the way up, as we do see Hellions thinking about heading down towards the south side. More tanks and 4s coming in towards the front, as you see. Actually, these Hellions just finding a bunch of Hydras, and Hellions trade so well against Hydras. It's kind of disgusting, really. That blue flame just adds so much damage, and they get rid of so many of the Hydras here in the middle. Here we go, Locust pushing forwards, but this time we're back towards the Liberators, and just jumps down onto the ground to take the fire from the siege tanks rather than getting hit by the Liberators. A successful wave of Locusts, as uThermal now really is starting to be set up against them. Hive is ready though, and Double Spire is on its way. One of them now morphing into Greater as it finishes. The other one coming up for upgrades most likely. So Broodlord's on the way out. And if Broodlords come through here, I'm not sure if uThermal's going to have an answer. The games he lost in this tournament with the Mech stars so far were against Broodlords. Once Broodlords got onto the map, they came through, they started to deal a lot of damage, they picked off a lot of units. They put themselves generally into very good positions. Liberators up at the top side. Here's Hydras, Lings, and Banes coming forwards. To the bottom, we see some Swarm Hosts. Going to be popping up some Locusts. They drop down, and the Liberators coming over to try and deal with a few more of those. The Liberators are just so mobile. That's the crazy thing. They can be anywhere so quickly. Especially on a map like this, where the ground sections are very segregated. The Liberators can just fly straight down south on this very narrow map. And because of that, he can just get in, wherever he needs to be to defend and deflect. Now, Hydralisks and Banelings are continuing to gather on the top. A few Vipers, too, as he pushes forwards. The Vipers obviously maybe one of the bigger issues here, because those blinding clouds can be pretty freaking scary. More tanks will siege up in the back, but man, that's just so many blinding clouds, or so many tanks taken out by the blinding clouds. However, Vipers are going to be under attack from the Liberators, and the Liberators will be able to get rid of, well, one of the Vipers. Looks as though he doesn't care so much about the rest of those Locusts. He's going to go chasing, well, I feel like he should chase the Vipers, but I guess in the end, getting rid of a couple more Locusts to help out too. Resources lost is a little bit uThermal favored still. He's only on the 4 bases, starting to move to a 5th. That'll be more difficult for him to establish well and truly here. As you do see Ling Bane already coming around to the right-hand side. uThermal is just pushed straight across the map, and we said it earlier, pushing straight in towards this base was always going to be something that uThermal has going to be able to do very easily on this map, and he's going to come right on over. And well, this base is going to go down, so Elazer is going to be pushed down to 4 bases of his own. Well, not trading as well as uThermal is. Going down to 4 bases is going to hurt. Here come the Locusts, but here's the Liberators already set to deal some damage and help get rid of them. Hydra's coming forwards as well. Hellions are trying to fight their way through to the front so they can actually help out properly against those Hydras and Locusts. uThermal getting himself a little bit choked up here. More Locusts continue to get picked away at, and we are going to be seen still coming around the top side. And just continue to get set up. A single Zergling going to jump on this planetary fortress, which is morphing in. There is more Hydras coming forwards, and this actually might just be a dead base. Plan siege tank here will not set up in time. And uThermal is going to lose this command center. It's going to keep this on 4 base apiece as Elazer takes the bottom side base himself. Probably an easier base to take because, hey, it is in a better position in terms of uThermal cannot push down this side of the map as easily if he is focused on defending the top mostly. Yes, the issue is that right now you actually just have to find a way as a Elazer to survive, to really mine from this. Anyways, the Swarm Hosts are sat AFK as we're going to see the Liberators siege on top of them. Multiple Swarm Hosts taken down. Liberators on siege and immediately are going to be jumping on the Locusts to be able to grab some extra damage onto them. Wow, again, uThermal finding the opportunities. Now his Liberators are AFK, but he moves them in time. This Hydra counterattack's been moving around for a long time. Here's a couple of Hellbats starting to clean it up. Liberator sieges, but we'll just get picked off. This Hydra attack has been all over the shop, and uThermal hasn't really had much of a response to it. Tanks are pushing forwards here as it looked as though Elazer wanted to move forwards here. Liberators sieging. There's just not enough Hydras to actually fight into this with the Liberators. He's going to run out of anti-air. Well, this is annoying. uThermal is again losing economy. He's not really being able to mine as much as he'd like to, but as he's also losing reinforcements, he's got the army supply at the moment to really make this work. Again, these Hydras just continue to run on into tank fire and Liberator range. The Swarm Host Locust this time will get a couple of kills at least, so the tank count's being thinned out over here. He actually killed off 3 or 4 tanks, which is a lot more than what he's done previously. Liberators are sieged up once more, which gives him access up to the natural very easily. +3 melee will be killed before it's able to finish. And the tank fire, the friendly fire, is actually really hurting at the moment. uThermal finally dealt with those units that were being annoying those Hydras. He's going to get his command center back down on a 4th base. Elazer has this bottom side base starting to mine, so he has a base to fall to, but he just doesn't have the army supply. Those parasitic bombs, though, are very painful. We'll fly one of them forwards as Elazer just types out GG. He just can't deal with this army. He's got so much money, but everything he builds just gets